Have you ever done anything like what Jeff Gordon did when he took that auto dealership guy on a crazy ride in that commercial?
Not on camera.
What was your reaction about that?
That was a cool spot. I really enjoyed that. That was a very clever and cool thing to do. I don't know if you could redo that now, but just because everyone knows who Jeff Gordon is, that was probably one of my more favorite commercials.
I was rolling when that came out, and it aired for several months.
Yeah, that was a good one. Probably one of my top 3 commercials I like that I didn't do.
What's your favorite racing movie if you had to pick one?
Oh, man. Man, I would have to say, I mean, it's a 3-way tie. Okay. So between Days of Thunder, Talladega Nights, and the one Burt Reynolds is in with the flying chicken. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. Stroker Ace. Stroker Ace, I think, is my number. I think Stroker Ace, then Days of Thunder, then Talladega Nights.
Yeah, there is a difference between Days of Thunder and Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights is silly and sarcastic, and Days of Thunder is more low-key and serious, you know?
I think that's what makes Talladega Nights so cool, is because it's like, it kind of makes fun of all of us racers, but we're like, the way Will Ferrell did it, we're like, yeah, I can't even be mad because it's pretty accurate.
Did you see Logan Lucky at all?
I did not. One of my good friends was one of the actors in it and one of the stunt drivers, but I still haven't seen it. And I think it's still on my Netflix or Amazon watch list. I got, everyone has like 10 different people on your Netflix or Amazon. So my playlist, all my stuff keeps getting pushed down to the bottom.
Yeah. So, what causes are you passionate about charity-wise, if you had to pick?
Well, so we've got a couple that the family does. Like I said, the Colorado 500, we give a lot of scholarships to kids in the Valley here. And then my dad's foundation, a lot of my junior foundation, we take kids hunting who have lost a parent, especially, kids whose parents have gotten killed overseas, that sort of thing. So we like to, and it's not just hunting, fishing or trap shooting or whatever they, they enjoyed with that parent that died. So we try to, take them on a trip and that stuff. So those two are pretty big for us. We do give a lot to Samaritan's Purse. Jane and Franklin Graham are pretty good friends of ours, so we really try to do everything we can with them. Plus all the churches and everything. We're very we do a lot of charities. We're starting with the ranch here. We're trying to get together sort of a 501c3 to help some of the kids at the Basalt High School, like with lunches, and some of the kids that aren't as well off up here, lunches, backpacks, stuff like that. So pretty much anywhere we can help, especially in the community that we are, we try to help a lot.
That's cool. Are you at the Dallenbach Ranch at the moment?
We are, yes, or I am.
What does it look like?
I'm just in the shop. Oh yeah, we got some cars in here and stuff. It's just a regular old shop, but we've got 140 acres on the Frying Pan River, and we've been doing weddings and events and cabin rentals for the past 5 or 6 years.
Pretty cool. That's great to hear, and good to hear that you guys are involved in charity. That's just great to hear.
Yeah, it's very important for us to give back to the community. That's this community has been so good to us, the family. So and we try to give scholarships to the kids that are going to stay in the valley. Stay, because our valley is the Roaring Fork Valley, so it's, we give a lot of scholarships to kids that want to be nurses or ambulance drivers, paramedics, stuff like that, because that's kind of the lifeblood. A couple kids last year wanted to become police officers, so we really try to give back for that civil servant kind of thing, serving the community.
Great to hear. What movies or television shows have you been part of with your stunt driving?
No movies or television shows yet, so fingers crossed. A lot of commercials. So I've done commercials for pretty much every manufacturer out there. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Nissan, Toyota, a lot of that stuff.
Okay. Have you ever been to any IndyCar, NASCAR, or Trans Am races in person?
All three. I mean, I can't get away from it, of course. Yeah, so all three of them. I grew up going to the tracks with my dad, so.
What one stuck out to you the most?
There's a couple. Bristol, when I was a little kid. The first time I went to Bristol, I think I was, 7 or 8 when I could remember it. And just, watching my dad race at Bristol, Bristol's the coolest track ever. I mean, that's the one you got to put on your bucket list. That one in Talladega. Talladega is just a fun atmosphere. We went to the 100th IndyCar, Indianapolis 500. That one was pretty cool because they had all the living members there. And one of my favorite stories about that is, so we're walking around with my grandfather, and he runs into Johnny Rutherford. So him and Johnny Rutherford start talking, and then Unser shows up, and then here comes Willie T. Ribbs, and here comes Mario. So I'm standing there while my grandfather is talking to Rick Mears, Unser, Andretti, Willie T. Ribbs, all those guys, and they're just shooting like it was 1985. And I was just a sponge, just listening to them give each other the entire time. And it was just so cool to see. That's probably my favorite memory, just seeing all those guys just talking about back in the day. And half the people walking by had no idea who they were. So kind of funny, like they were all in this little group, and I'm just sitting there like listening, like this is the coolest moment of my life, and they're just giving each other all this. And that was probably the cool. Yeah, Parnelli Jones was in that group as well. That's probably my most favorite experience at the racetrack.
Definitely. I read from a friend of mine that met Bobby Unser one year. He said to me that he asked him, "Are you and Mario good in spite of 81? And Bobby was like, "Well, I haven't killed him yet." And he said he asked Mario the same question, and Mario responded, "Whenever I see Bobby, I show him my ring from 81, and I'm like, see this?"
Those guys, I mean, I think, there were some grudges, but man, those guys have such a great sense of humor, and especially now, I think, and I know, talking to my grandfather, looking back, even all the rivalries and all the, the bad blood, they look back and they're like, man, that was so much freaking fun. I think they think of it like in the moment, yeah, you're pissed off, as race car drivers, you're all like that. You get in the moment and you're pissed off, and you want to fight some guy. And I can remember, my late model days, the same thing. And then looking back, I'm like, that was a lot of fun. So I think I'd like to think they relish that, and they like you said, they like to give each other those subtle jabs and mess with each other, which is pretty funny.
It's one of those things where in the moment and during that time you are upset, but then you're seen going fishing with them like the next week.
Exactly. And that, like the Colorado 500, it's like they can all get in a fight at the racetrack, but then they come up here and they go camping all together and go ride motorcycles. So it's a cool little, there's all those cool little stories. Once you start digging deep enough and you ask the right questions, you'll get a lot of cool stories out of those guys.
Definitely. So you were at the 2011 one then, with the 100th one?
Yeah, I think it was 2011, yeah.
Was it the one where Dan Weldon won after Hildebrand crashed?
You'd probably know better than I do. I don't remember.
Or was it the one where Alexander Rossi ran out of gas on the final lap and still won the race?
No, because I watched that one on TV, so it must have been Weldon.
What was your reaction, if you can remember, to him winning that race?
I thought it was a good race. I think that, Dan Weldon was one of those guys that was a real champion for the sport. And it was good to see him win. I think now that we don't have like a dog in the fight as far as like us driving or anything else, the IndyCar community is so close and so tight knit. My aunt, she, runs Ed Carpenter's team. It's a lot of the same guys. And I think for me, watching those races, anybody who wins is, I just feel like that is such a family. It's nice. And since we don't have like a stake in it, anyone that wins, it just feels good to see those guys win because IndyCar is some of the greatest racing in the world. I will watch IndyCar over Formula One every day. And so it's just cool to see those guys. And like I said, Dan Weldon was just such a champion of the sport and such a great person, a great guy. So it was very nice to see him win.
Yeah, two things. It was nice to see him win, knowing what happened a few months later. God rest his soul,
Yeah.
And then, that's the reason why I don't watch F1 as well. The only guys that win are whoever qualifies 1, 2, and 3, from what it looks like.
Yeah, I think they need to put some ovals on the Formula One circuit. I think that would shake it up a little bit. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. So that's all I have for now.
Very good. It was good talking to you. And I could, anytime else you want to, I'll have to scratch down some stories for you.
Definitely. We'll bring you back on if you're willing in a couple weeks' time to go further in depth of your journey. Would you like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool. Hopefully you can get maybe Wally Sr. or Wally Jr. to come on as well.
I will. My grandfather, he's spending, they got a place in Grand Junction for the winter.
Yeah.
Staying out of the snow. So I'll mention it to him. He's got stories that even I'm like, are you serious? Like, he was telling me, he showed me a picture. He ran a USAC midget at Lime Rock. I'm like, what? Like, that's insane. He's like, yeah, here's the picture. And then I got the picture and I'm like, you have bigger balls than anybody. Like, it was just this, and I can just imagine, like, look, driving on Lime Rock and coming down the hill in a USAC midget. I'm like, how did you not die? He's like, I don't know. And these are all,
Wally.
Yeah, these are all just dinner time conversations. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I'll have to get him on, and he will talk your ear off for sure. He's got tons of stories, and my dad's in Florida, so I think he's going to come up in the next couple months. So I'll mention it to him as well.
Great to hear. Thank you very much.
Yep, good to talk to you.
Good to talk with you. And everybody, we'll see you next week for the next episode of Stories from Motorsports.